From each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are. From memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried. And with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight. Reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we dive the magic.
Hi, and welcome back to the Deep Diving the Magic podcast. I'm KJ.
And I'm Jeffrey. And believe it or not, we've made it to our 10th deep dive. I wonder if Walt and the animators even knew that they would make 10 movies, or that someone 80 years, 90 years from then would make it to the 10th movie of a deep dive. Well, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Like I said, we are on our 10th film, and the 10th feature length film for the Disney company is another package film called Make Mine Music, released April 20th, 1946. It is a package film, like we said, that was, a film full of shorts due to the war efforts, but this is actually the first Disney feature-length film released after the end of World War II. So as we mentioned last week, this film is not on Disney Plus, but if it was, it'd probably be a warning before it. But would you like to go ahead with a synopsis to get us started?
This actually might be the shortest synopsis thus far. I can't remember what other movie I said had a very short one, but this one's pretty short. Animation done to contemporary popular music.
I mean, it makes sense because I actually think that this is like a version of Fantasia done to jazz music.
It's not as good as me.
I mean, I agree, but I think it's a version that's kind of done to jazz music instead of classical music. Any thoughts before we dive in?
I definitely enjoyed it. Not as much as some of our other films, but it had some cute points.
Yeah, definitely some shorts that are stronger than others.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I also don't think I've ever watched this one.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a few shorts I have seen, but I'm not sure either.
But
there's some iconic stuff in here though.
I did have in my notes that the clown on the cover of the movie it looked very familiar to me, and you're like, oh, I'll tell you later what that's from. The clown wheel.
Oh, I pointed it out to you.
Yes, you did point it out to me, and then I was like, that is definitely where it's from. But I
Yeah.
knew it looked familiar.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't for me watching it when I was a kid or anything, because I definitely don't remember watching this.
Yeah, so we will talk about that. That's actually the last short, or one of the last shorts. So like a lot of these films, it opens with a book opening, but this time it's like it's like a play program that opens.
Yeah.
It's a program that opens.
I had in my notes that I love the color scheme of when it opened.
Okay.
It was a very colorful.
Yeah. It's a very colorful movie.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna kick it off with a doozy, because I'm gonna let you touch on this, but before you do, let me give a quick synopsis on it. We meet the Martins and the Coys. So again, I'm sure you've lots.
Reckless mountain boys.
That's right. As the song states, the Martins and the Coys are reckless mountain boys who have a never-ending family feud, even continuing to fight into heaven after they are all dead. Last remaining members of the two families fall in love and get married, but old hatred ends up winning out. What do you got?
So they were Rex Mountain Boys. Grandpa Coy was full of Mountain Dew. I'm pretty sure that Mountain Dew is supposed to be some kind of alcoholic beverage, not actually the soda.
He was like sleeping underneath like the alcohol.
Yeah, and I can't remember if they said he was full of Mountain Dew or if it was just he was just full of Mountain Dew. Yeah. But anyway, I'm pretty sure they had like a still or something. Yeah. But the sole surviving Martin was a maiden, and her name was Grace. And the sole surviving Coy was a male named Henry, and they fell in love. However, the
Yeah.
ghost,
They weren't happy. That's what I was gonna say.
yeah, the ghosts of the Martins and the Coys were not happy about this union and that the hatchet had been buried um when the two of them got married at Possum Track School.
Wow.
Possum Track School.
They're very possum
Um,
people.
I had in my notes that for some reason, I don't understand, but why do the females in Disney films always look leagues above the males and they're basically forced to marry down?
I mean, she was kind of forced because she was the last one. But
I mean, there could have been more attractive people, but why do the boys always look hideous in these movies? There's nothing to pick from. Nothing. I would have just been alone.
I mean, they end up alone.
Anyway, I also had in my note. Are you ready for this? She cranks the car.
I
She
don't want to
cranks
talk
the
about it.
car, and like you said, then the feud continues on because I don't remember what happened, but they obviously get into a fight, and then
So if you don't know the story of
the two start feuding. It kind of reminded me of the Hatfields and the McCoys.
yeah, which is what they were going for, I'm sure. But back to the crank the car thing. My lovely Southern KJ over here who
Ah,
lives not southernly up here in the wonderful New England, took the
I still
one
have my phrases.
took the wonderful northern Jeffrey to a trip down south and asked him to uncrank the car, and he had absolutely no idea what she was talking about because she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know how to talk.
I
But
do.
we love her
He
anyway.
just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, well, right in. Keep typing the magic pod at gmail.com.
You crank it to turn it on
Right.
for those of reference, and you uncrank it to turn it off.
Yeah, okay. Miss McCoy. So this is actually the first time that we hear the famous Goofy yell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna do it, but look it up. It's a famous thing. It's gonna be in a bunch of movies. You
Kinda
can
like
hear
Elm.
you can hear it during the stealing eggs scene when they're fighting. It rains, so we're now 10 for 10. We are now 10 for 10 films with a rainstorm.
Mhm.
And this short was actually removed from future physical media releases.
I thought it was hilarious. Mountain Dew cranking cars.
Yeah. But it's so I don't even know if it's available now, but if it was, like I said, it's not on Disney Plus. So if it was, this short wouldn't be on it, but it's easy to find. Anything else you like to touch on before we dive into the next section?
I thought it was pretty humorous. I don't laugh out loud.
It's a strong opener.
Very often during movies. I think that is one of the things that gets on your nerves about me. I don't actually laugh out loud when I watch movies most of the time, but when I do, I do. And I'm pretty sure I laughed a few times
If
during
you
this.
if you're watching the YouTube video and you can see the picture of this book right here, this middle picture of the two clouds is the family fighting even after they have moved on. So
Yeah.
it's never ending. So then we go on to something completely different,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Blue Bayou section.
Yep.
Which again is animated to music. And I actually read that it was originally supposed to be in Fantasia, but they used it here instead. Anything
Yeah.
on that? I don't have any other notes.
It takes place in a dreamy blue bayou following a white herring. There's really no words at all to this. It's just music and some animation.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice. I can see how it fits into Fantasia though.
Yeah, I guess it was made for it and it didn't make the
Cut.
or it made this cut. So let me get a jazz interlude because why wouldn't we get a jazz interlude? This is not an intermission.
Need to spice things up a bit.
I mean, if you consider smooth jazz spicing things up a bit.
Thought it was great.
Well, what a segue, because speaking of spicing things up a bit, then we get the next section, which is all the cats join in. And if you think this is about the lovely cats, you're wrong. It's those jazz culture cats.
Yeah.
So all the cats join in is a section which is an interpretation of the jazz culture of young adults
Also
and
some
teenagers.
storybook moments.
That's right. I actually really do like the animation of this section because
Mhm.
it's all like drawn,
Yeah.
like they're hand drawing it as the things are
As it's
moving.
playing out, yeah.
It's very drawn to life.
I had in my notes that the females in the clip, their faces looked very similar to the faces of the female centaurs from Fantasia, and you disagreed with me. And we had to go back and watch it again when we were watching it.
It's true. You just wanted to watch it again.
No, I just wanted to prove my point, and I did.
So,
Also, I had in my notes in this section of the jazz part that they had some creepy black-eyed children vibes because there's scenes in it where people have normal like eyes with the whites in them, and then all of a sudden, like every once in a while, there's somebody that has just solid black eyes, and they were really creepy looking
because
in this film.
they're on drugs because it's the jazz culture.
Okay, well, it was very creepy.
So I mean, there's also
The music was very good. I did enjoy the music.
There's some other inappropriate parts of this short. So the guy calls the girl from the malt shop or wherever while he was listening to the jukebox, and the girl straight up ignores the child. And then there's some
babysitting.
Well, she's not.
Well, she wasn't paying
She
attention.
wasn't paying attention.
She
There's
was
some
supposed to be babysitting.
there's some mild female nudity that's been edited out of future releases. There's also a lot. It's messed up because there's a quote unquote larger girl that they have to erase and redraw as skinnier for the guy to be interested in her. Thoughts on this?
She shouldn't have had to be redrawn. Redrawn, sorry.
I-
Sorry, my southern just came out.
I mean, like I said, this is not the most appropriate of it.
Because most males, like I said, females are chose to like having to like pig down.
Yeah, I mean, they probably couldn't see with those black eyes anyway. Anything else on this?
I don't have anything
No.
else on this section, no.
It's definitely
Yeah, I guess it gave like what,
it's a short.
50s, 60s vibes to me. It's kind of like what it reminded
I mean,
me
it came
of.
out in the 40s, so
Yeah, but it kind of reminded me of like the 50s and 60s, I guess. Maybe the 50s more so the 60s. But I guess that would it maybe it came out in 46. I
Yeah.
guess that's kind of late 40s.
are you basing that entirely on staying at Pop Century at Walt Disney World?
I could be. I don't know.
At Pop Century, for those who don't know, at Walt Disney World, it's a wonderful hotel. Except for when you're in a
I
hurricane.
didn't really like it at first, but it has become one of my favorites.
Yeah,
actually. I have some fond memories.
we were there
of
in a hurricane, but regardless of that,
Yeah.
it's different centuries, and there's a section with a lot of jazz, and
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm basing it off of. And we've never stayed in the 50s though.
we stayed in our hotel room for an entire vacation during a hurricane once, though.
Yeah, but that was in the 70s.
Mhm.
Anyway, story for another podcast.
Many years from now. So then we get a very famous Disney short, which is the Casey at the Bat short.
Yes.
Casey at the Bat, of course, is the motivation for the very popular, especially by me, hot dog restaurant on Main Street, USA. Great theming. It's right. It's the closest restaurant to the castle.
I think you may have missed one.
I mean, if so, I missed it off of it completely. So what do you got?
I had A Ballad in Blue. It was
Okay.
a song that was brought to life by, you guessed it, Blue Hughes. That's all I had. Then it was Casey at the Bat.
Oh, okay. So memorable.
Really was.
So
Was
then we get again Casey at the Bat short.
Yep.
It's a restaurant at the Magic Kingdom where you can get the corn dogs and the hot dogs and watch the parade. It's wonderful.
Casey's Corner.
Casey's Corner it is called. But Casey
To say when we watched this, I actually figured out like it's kind of neat to see how some of these older things from like beginning Disney actually come alive in the park. Like I did not know that Casey's Corner actually was something that was like a legit thing. I just kind of thought it was supposed to fit in with the theming of
and she wonders why I
Main
walk
Street.
slow through the park because I know all these things and I want to see
he
her.
just walks slow.
So I love the
All the
animation.
time.
I love the animation style of this. I love old time baseball. I love baseball in general. I love the old timey feel of this. But in the end, in the rain, even the mighty Casey struck out. Thoughts on this? You think he's a hunk? You think the ladies are?
I did not think he was attractive either. I thought he was very unattractive.
I mean, look at this hunk in
But
this picture.
I guess if you looked at him compared to the rest of the people on his team, he was the more attractive
So I
one.
guess the important question I'm going to ask you is, would you leave somebody you're babysitting unattended to
No.
go spawn over this guy?
I mean, that's not where they were going.
I know. They were going to dance.
No, but I still wouldn't have left anybody to go swoon over him. He wasn't nothing to swoon over in my book.
So then we get the Peter and the Wolf short.
Yeah.
I don't really have any notes on this besides he takes Peter to the zoo, or he takes the wolf to the zoo.
Oh, I actually do. So Peter and the Wolf, in that one, they had the different characters that were represented by different instruments. Another supporting example of meadows being used as dangerous places. So like each different animal in the movie was represented by a different instrument. That was kind of cool.
I do remember that now, actually.
Yeah, like
I think we
alliteration.
watched this twice, this section.
Yeah, and then once again, meadows were not places you should be going with your children.
Because of the wolf.
Dangerous places.
That's right. So then we, after that, another short, the After You're Gone section,
Mhm.
which is where the what's the word I'm looking for? Inanimate objects come to life through
Mhm.
music.
And I had in here creepy dancing hands.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of creepy dancing, a lot of things in the short, but
But the hands like were the thing that creeped me out the most in the short.
so there's a fedora and a bonnet. This fedora,
Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet.
they are next to each other in a shop window, and they are in love with each other, but they get separated, and they go on this
It's a love story of hats.
on this mission to. I mean, I also love hats, but on this mission to find each other. But what did you say her name was? Alice.
Yeah,
Alice the bonnet cost $23.94 in 1946.
Mhm.
Guess how much that is in today's dollars?
A lot of money.
$400. I would chase after that lady too. $400 for that hat.
Yeah, but did it say how much Johnny Fedora was?
Nope, they didn't mention how much money he was. I would assume he was less than $23.94.
Okay. Well, I have to say, I would have loved to been a fly on the wall when they were pitching the idea for this story. Hey guys, I got this idea. Hats.
And at the end, we're gonna
Hear me out. Hear me out.
We're gonna cut horses' ears holes in
Yes.
because they end up in love, but they're next to each other on a set of horses in a carriage.
Yeah.
It
was a cute little story, but
yeah, it's a cute ending to that whole section.
Literally, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when they were pitching the idea. It's an interesting story.
It worked.
It did work, but
so then lastly, the section that she was mentioning earlier with the
if you look at the main cover, it is the main cover. That's why I talked about it at the beginning.
So we meet Willie the Whale.
Yes.
Willie the Whale dreams of becoming an opera singer. But even though the other sea life try to help Willie achieve this goal, a fisherman believes that he ate an actual opera singer. It doesn't go as planned. Thoughts?
I mean, that was a pretty good synopsis of that. I just said it was a sad story and I didn't want to spoil it for anybody. But he just wanted to sing at the mat.
So would you like to
really just wanted to sing at the mat?
Tell our viewers and listeners,
and once again,
where
humans are evil.
That's true. Would you like to tell our viewers and listeners where you know that cover from?
So for the life of me, I couldn't figure it out, and he was gonna let me try to guess it at first. And it is at Disney World. It is at the Magic Kingdom, and it is in Mickey's PhilharMagic. There's a movie poster that has Willie the Whale on it.
Performing at the opera.
Yeah, but he's dressed up like a clown and he has the little clown makeup on his face. And
I don't know if it's clown makeup or if it's just opera makeup.
he was dressed up like a clown. Like he had the little thing on him. I'm pretty sure on this page right here, there's Willie. Oh, maybe he's not on this one. Oh, he's not on this one.
So he's wearing opera.
I'm pretty sure he's a clown.
Well, he's performing, and Willie gets to serenade everybody from the gates of
He
heaven.
might even be on this one. He's not on this one. Oh, he is on this one, but he's serenading from heaven because
Yeah.
he has his little angel halo. Sorry, guys. I'm pretty sure he was dressed up like a clown because I thought to myself, why did they make him dressed up like a clown? But he did play different parts when
Of the
he
opera.
was doing
Yeah.
opera. But I'm pretty sure at that point that I was referencing, he was dressed up like a clown. Because I think he was wearing like a red outfit with the ruffled collar and clown makeup.
Well, it appears that we have to go to Mickey's PhilharMagic and report back, which will be there in 2 weeks, and we'll report back.
Yeah.
So it's a cute section. There's a cute, section of the short. I think that that's probably the best one. Thoughts?
Yeah. It was, well, I might have to rate that short my second out of all of them. I actually
McCoys or the Coys.
I did enjoy the Martins and the McCoys. Or the Coy, sorry. I enjoyed them more.
Yeah, so there's some memorable shorts in this film. That is the entirety of the film. What did you rate this?
I rated it a 6 out of 10.
And what did IMDb rate this?
6.1 out of 10.
Ooh, that 0.1 got you beat.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean it's strong. There's some stronger package films that are coming.
Yeah, for sure.
But we've come to the point where we're gonna do this list upon a star. And before we dive into this list upon a star, this is our 10th film. If you didn't know when we mentioned it earlier. So as we have mentioned a few times, especially on our first episode, this is going to be an ever growing top 10. So this film is actually this is the last time where every film is going to get added to this, because going forward, if a film is worth it, it might take over a spot. So are any of these films going to be still on here when we get to our 20th episode? But that being said, while we're here, we have a 10th episode here. Where would you put this film?
So I am going to put it underneath Snow White. I'm just gonna be there, so it'll be fine. I'll move it later. All right, so Dumbo, The Three Caballeros, Fantasia, Saludos Amigos, Bambi, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Make Mine Music, The Reluctant Dragon, Pinocchio, and Victory Through Air Power. That's my top 10. Where are you going to put it?
I think I am going to put it here.
Wow. Fantasia outranks it for Jeffrey. Didn't see that one coming.
So we have a top 10.
Yep.
For now.
For now.
Pinocchio, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, The Three Caballeros, Dumbo, Bambi, Saludos Amigos, The Reluctant Dragon, Fantasia, Make Mine Music, and Victory Through Air Power. Will this be any of our tops in the next future? So thank you for watching another collective films of Disney shorts. On our next episode, are you ready for this?
I don't know.
We're diving into one of the most Disney lore films of all time. Will it be a lost treasure? Will it be rightly removed forever? But what I can say is it did spawn the greatest ride at Walt Disney World forever. Splash Mountain, so rest in peace for that. Of course, we are talking about referring to the ever so not aged gracefully Song of the South. Join us next week as we dive in.
Thanks for deep diving the magic.
Bye.
Bye.